By now you probably know how much I love animals, especially horses and my cat Franklin in particular. This weekend I got to give back to some special furry friends and I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. So let's get the show going. New Day Northwest starts right now.
It's a new day.
Now, from the Virginia Mason Franciscan Health Studio at King 5 in downtown Seattle, this is New Day Northwest.
Good morning and welcome to New Day. I hope your weekend was just what you needed. For me, it was all about the animals. It was my second year hosting Tuxes and Tails, that Seattle Humane's gala event that raises money for their life-saving work for pets in need, both at the shelter and in our community. This year we raised $1.6 million. I got to go with my mom, Carolyn. As you can see there, she was my date, which was absolutely fabulous. But my favorite part was, of course, the pet runway show. Producer Susie joins me. Susie, yep. I feel like this is just a good opportunity to talk about the most precious pets.
Yeah, so let's see the runway, right?
I know. We have some video that I was just sent this morning from Seattle Humane. Here we are. It was Saturday night. We met some adorable pets that you can adopt on the runway with just, you know, those stories that just tug at your heartstrings. That was Piglet. He's deaf and blind. This is Gunner. My favorite dog of the night. They think he got hit by a car, which is devastating.
Double cast. Look at that.
So many precious animals, and we talked about their rescue programs, how they help, you know, just families in need that want to keep their pets but might not be able to at the time, so they have foster. That's a guinea pig.
Okay.
So critters of all, Gunner, I told you. I had to stop the show for a moment and give Gunner a little scratch.
No guinea pigs for me.
You're familiar with Seattle Humane though, right, too?
I am. They really have my heart. We went to Seattle Humane when we were looking for a puppy. In fact, my daughter spent an entire week every day going there when they opened, and she went back numerous times a day till we found our sweet pup, Kato, almost 13 and a half years ago. That's at Seattle Humane when Maddie found him. And it was on her the last day of spring break, and she found him. And of course, he would go to, be part of every prom and homecoming for the years to come with her. And they just helped us so much. In addition to the adoption, like you said, they helped Pet Food Bank. They were so supportive. Even the education, we got to take classes through them.
Oh, amazing.
And they even do that life-saving program where they bring pups over or all animals over from other programs, which is how we got Kato. So I love that you did that, and 1.6 million, wow.
I know, it really shows how many people in Seattle absolutely are just big animal lovers, love their pets. It was an amazing night. I still have goosebumps thinking about it. And thank you for sharing your amazing adoption story. That's precious. And next up, we have something about beauty. Yay! Beauty standards are always changing, but my first guest is creating space for realness, culture, and self-care that actually feels good. You probably know Nina Hajian from her work on the Jubal Show, where she's making us laugh and brightening up our mornings for years. And now she's bringing that same fun and fearless energy into the beauty world with her new skincare line, T-Bazi. Hello!
Oh my gosh, that was the nicest intro ever. Thank you.
We love you. You know this.
I love you guys too.
As soon as I heard that you had a skincare line, one, I was like, can I try this? Can I get all the products?
Yes.
And two, we just wanted to hear more. So, like I said, we know you as a radio queen, but tell me about why you wanted to start this new skincare line.
So in radio, you travel around a lot for the job, and I happened to be living in New York at the time, going through a breakup, you know, the usual.
As one does.
As one does. My nervous system was crashing, and I was eating watermelon every morning at the bodega. And if you didn't know, and I won't say all watermelon that's not organic, but they do inject coloring into watermelon or certain foods to make it look pretty. And it completely crashed my nervous system. I got super sick. I was in the doctor's office every week, but nobody knew what was wrong with me. And long story short, it turned out that I have an allergy to red dye. So we can talk about that later, because we also need to talk about what you're putting into your body. But that's exactly what I was thinking of. I started thinking of food as medicine, and I healed myself by leaning into the foods and spices that I grew up with. So that's where the Persian heritage comes in. I'm half Persian. And so I was lucky enough to have all worlds growing up, but the smells and the food and all of that was something I was once ashamed of, but have become so proud of, and it heals you. So
literally from the inside out. And tell me about the name too, because like you mentioned, it's has to do with your Persian heritage.
Yeah. So T-Bazi essentially means tea party in Farsi. So if you know anything about the Persian culture, tea is a big staple for us. Chai is what we call it. So it's where you chat. You're exchanging thoughts and information and love. And I wanted that to be part of your ritual. So we have our radiance ritual, which is the 3 steps that you see right here in front of you. And it's your moment to have your own tea party. Because the ritual itself, I think, aside from what it is that you're putting into your body, is so important for you to come back to home. And we were talking about how we're woo-woo and stuff, but really it's a thing, okay? You need to feel good about yourself.
Yes.
And you don't need 16 steps of a skincare routine to do that.
Okay, good, because that would take all night. And how do you source your ingredients too?
So cardamom, pomegranate, and Persian rose are 3 staples that are used and woven throughout all 3 products. We have a manufacturer in Florida, actually. It took me forever to find my lab, but they were on Shark Tank. I know, they're called Nardo's Natural. They're amazing. So we aligned in our beliefs, and they're a family business. So they were really excited to work with me on my family's heritage and message. So it kind of all came together, and we're sourced globally.
That's incredible. Okay, I want to get to the products, starting with number 1, a cleanser.
Yeah.
Tell me about this one.
Okay, so it's the Persian tea cleanser. So cardamom is our kind of special sauce, if you will. You know it in food and tea, but it's actually an incredible spice that stimulates your blood flow. So let's think you're drinking wine the night before, you wake up, you got puffy face. You want to wake up your face. And using the cardamom, when you blend it together, it's a gel that foams. And so you immediately start to feel the effects. There's lotus flower in there that helps with pore refinement. That's also great for moisture, because if your face feels tight after you use your cleanser, that's a good chance that it's drying you out and stripping your barrier. I know my friend used to tell me, she goes, I thought that meant that I was getting tight skin.
That's what I'm thinking, like anti-aging or something.
No, that means aging. That means that all of the moisture is getting sucked out of your skin, and you're going to hear the term skin barrier a lot, especially in beauty now, because skincare is the new, I don't want to call it makeup because everybody still loves makeup, but skincare is the basis for everything, and I prefer all natural because it feeds you. It's medicine. And we're going back to ancient times. And one of my favorite stories, too, while I was creating this, is that in ancient Persia, pomegranate oil was used all over their bodies to protect them from the sun. Because there are so many antioxidants and powerful ingredients that protects your skin barrier. So when you leave your house, you need to be protected. When you go to bed, you want your skin to be working.
Okay, so we got to get to number 2 too. What's our next step?
This, my dearlies, is the hydration tea. This is what you're going to want to keep in your bag at all times. You can use it before the gym, after the gym. There is Persian rose in here. There's also apple stem cells. So we've got some science, which is great for plumping and regeneration and moisture. There's also hyaluronic acid in here.
Oh, yes.
So this is your step 2. It goes great over makeup.
Oh my God.
Like, when your makeup starts to get a little crusty, like on the sides, or like your lines or whatever are showing, you just do a little bit of this and you go about your day and your glow is back. And
my glow is back.
Do you smell that though? Do you smell it?
It smells amazing.
There's aromatherapy benefits to every single one of these. Well thought out. We can talk about that later too.
Okay, and your last product too, it's a Persian oil, right?
Yeah, it's the Persian tea oil. So this came first. This was the very first product that I created. This is the one with the pomegranate, Persian rose, and cardamom. So again, you're stimulating blood flow. You're helping your pores receive all of the goodness, your cells and stuff. But here, this is the last step. So you would use this if you're using any other types of serums and stuff. This works all really well with it. This will always be your last step though.
Oh wow, that feels incredible.
So you're locking in all of the hydration, and I always tell people too, it's like freeze your face where it's at. If you're starting to feel like your skin is getting a little bit crepey, or you want to just keep that plump little, you just gotta. Ooh. This makes you plump. It makes your skin feel nice and thick.
Look
and gives
at how
you that
shiny.
Barrier protection all day. It goes really great with makeup. So if you mix it in a little bit with your foundation, then you'll have that kind of a luminescent glow.
Oh, okay. Nina, we have to get to a lightning round now, which is so fun. I know you're used to this in radio. So here we go.
Okay.
Skincare in the morning or at night?
Both.
Boom. Sheet mask or clay mask?
Both.
One beauty product that you always have to keep in your bag?
Hydration tea.
Hydration tea, boom. If T-Bazi were a playlist, what are the 3 songs that are a must on it?
Girl.
I know this is merging like both like your world. So
I feel like this is gonna just take too much time, but I'm on my like gangster rap kind of like mode right now because it's so empowering. I don't want to say all the words that make you feel like you're strong, but this is it. It's that bad woman energy.
Yes. Okay.
where you feel like you're unstoppable.
What's one beauty trend that you secretly love and one that you wish would disappear forever?
That I secretly love. Oh shoot. I think it's that mask that you wear overnight, like the collagen one. I don't remember what it's called, but it's awesome. I love it. I have them. I like stock up on them.
Yes.
Korean skincare is incredible.
One you wish would disappear forever.
Beef tallow.
I don't. What? Okay, and if you could give yourself, your younger self, one skincare tip, what would it be?
Sunscreen.
That's what I was gonna say. SPF.
Sunscreen, and those sun hats. There's a lot of cute options.
There you go. You are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. You know we absolutely love you.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Next up, a nice cold beer on a hot summer's day sounds just about perfect, right? So coming up, the Washington Brewers Guild is here with some fun beers to try ahead of their big festival coming up at Seattle Center. Also ahead, it's time to reveal our top 5 nominees in this year's Hyundai Hometown Heroes contest. One of these deserving individuals will win a brand new Hyundai Santa Fe after you all vote, of course. But up next, we're talking to the authors of a new book that critiques artificial intelligence, why they believe we're being conned by big tech. What if everything you know about artificial intelligence is a bunch of hype? In their new book, The AI Con, my next guests aim to pull back the curtain on how AI really works and who's truly reaping the rewards. Dr. Emily Bender and Dr. Alex Hanna, welcome to New Day to you both.
Thanks for having us, Kelly.
Thanks for having us here.
I want to dive right in. So, Emily, you're a linguistics professor at the University of Washington. So, obviously, words are kind of your thing. The term AI is thrown around all the time. So, what is AI?
So, AI, the word, is a marketing term. There is no thing that is AI. The phrase artificial intelligence refers to a set of technologies that are being hyped up as more than they can actually do, sold as something that can think like a person, for example, and actually don't have very much in common across the different technologies. So ChatGPT is a different piece of software constructed differently from the system that might help your camera focus on the face in an image when you're taking a picture. And so all of that gets called artificial intelligence, and it makes it sound like more than it is.
Okay, I'm really excited to keep diving into this. Alex, how do you think most people view AI, and what are we all really missing?
Yes, I think a lot of people think that AI is like what we see in sci-fi. So it's like the Matrix, or it's like Lieutenant Commander Data in Star Trek. Like it's something that can think by itself. But many of the systems that we use that are called AI are these generative AI systems. And a lot of them, like ChatGPT or Claude from Anthropic, these are systems which are called large language models. And what they really are is that they're kind of like a souped up autocomplete. What they do is they see some words, a lot of words, and then they predict the most likely words that come after it. And so what we're doing, and what Emily has said a lot in her prior work, is what we are doing is that we're imagining a mind behind that, and we are imbuing that with some kind of notion that this is a intelligent being.
Gosh, and Emily, where do you think the AI hype comes from then?
It comes from commercial interests and venture capital, actually. So I like to tell people that in November 2022, when ChatGPT took over the world by storm, what changed was not actually a big technological advancement. What changed was a slight UI tweak to something we'd had for a while, the synthetic text extruding machines, predicting the next word over and over again. And there is a lot of commercial interest behind that. A lot of money has gone into it, and not a lot of money has come back to the people who've made those investments. So they have to get us all excited about it. They have to push it into everything to get people using it to try to recoup some of those investments.
That makes sense. And Alex, many companies are asking employees to use AI a lot in their work as much as they can. You say, though, we shouldn't buy into that. Why not? And how can employees feel empowered to push back?
I think there's a lot of push to put this into work because employers think that it's going to save people time or it's going to make people more productive. And so what you say in the book is, AI is not going to replace you at your job, but it's going to make your job worse because that labor is either going to add new tasks or it's going to displace labor in a different way. employees can push back by asking questions, asking what is this doing, what are the inputs, what are the outputs, how is this evaluated, is this actually going to make my job better, and by making demands and asking and how they can have control about what they use technologically and in their workplace.
Definitely. And Emily, what should policymakers be considering to curb AI overreach?
Yeah, so the first thing I want to say there is that AI overreach, one of the problems with the phrase AI is that it always sounds like it's the AI doing the thing, right? There's no AI that's overreaching. There's corporate interests that are using this technology called AI in an overreaching fashion. And that overreach reaches into our privacy, it reaches into our quality of work, it reaches into our quality of social services. So there's a lot that needs to be done. And it starts with applying existing regulation. So the FTC under Lina Khan was very clear that there was no AI loophole. Like they said, it's our job to regulate the way businesses do business. And it doesn't matter if they're using automation to do that, we still regulate that. So some regulation should just be applied. That's already there. We could use better regulation around data rights. So our right to remove data, our right to know when data has been collected about us, and even better data minimization to not let the data collect. We could use regulation around transparency. So we should know when there's been automation, and we should know how that automation was built. There should be regulation around recourse. If someone uses an automated decision to make if someone uses an automated decision system to make a consequential decision about my life and it adversely affects me, I should be able to efficiently get that addressed. Right, so all of these things. And then finally, and this goes to what Alex was talking about with pushing back at work, legislation that protects workers' rights can be really important here.
Gosh, okay, and Alex, I want to end with what concerns you the most in this space and what's giving you hope?
What concerns me the most is that we're having these models get bigger and bigger, and what they are going to do is displace workers. And it's also, they have intense environmental harms. And so when all the hype is, dead and gone, those workers are going to have a hard time getting their positions back. They might be pushed into gig work or into other industries, and the environmental harm will already be done. So that worries me quite a lot. And thinking about what kind of future we could have, there's been really interesting work from alternative different technology companies like Teheku Media. They do machine translation for the Maori language of folks in Eritrea, also called New Zealand, and they've been building technological futures that is under control of those people who are building those technologies. They own the data, they control that data, they control the computers, and so that's building a technological future that works for the people that it's being built for, and not from huge companies that are building huge models that are somehow supposed to work for everyone.
Gosh, thank you so much, you guys, for being here today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And if you'd like to hear more from Dr. Bender and Dr. Hannah, they have a book event tonight at Elliott Bay Book Company. They'll also be at Third Place Books in Lake Forest Park tomorrow. And when we come back, we're headed to the kitchen with a blast from the past. Bea Donovan had a cooking show on King 5 more than 20 years ago, and we're trying one of her recipes right after this.
New Day Northwest is back, now from the Safeway Kitchen.
Welcome back. Recently, a King 5 viewer sent us a letter and a clipping of a recipe from a cooking show King 5 used to produce. Bea Donovan was the star of King's Queen, a live cooking show that started at the old King 5 studios in South Lake Union in the 50s and ran for more than 20 years. So we, of course, thought it would be so fun to try the recipe, and that's where my executive producer, Joseph, comes in. What are we making today? What is this dish called?
So this was a trip when I saw this clipping. And there were several recipes on it. Salmon fiesta spoke to me, and that's what we're doing. It's basically salmon meatballs in like a tomatoey creamy sauce. This kind of is not something you would maybe see as much today. It seems much more of the time, 50s, 60s kind of recipe. And so, yeah, I thought we should try.
And with the weather lately, it's not, been giving spring warmness. Yeah. So I think on a cold day.
Warm, hearty dish like this.
All right, so you're gonna walk me through. Full disclosure, I'm not a huge salmon girly.
What?
I know what, but you are broadening my horizons as
I love
Team
salmon,
New Day always does.
And I love a meatball. It's kind of like a salmon meatball.
I love meatballs.
So then let's try it.
Okay.
So I made this mix last night. It's basically canned salmon, onion, breadcrumbs, little mustard, little Worcestershire.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then I'm rolling them into
Into
like
little
a
balls.
ball, like a meatball.
Like a meatball, yeah.
And then you're heating this pan.
Yep.
Is
So
that
just make a couple and throw them in.
okay?
But what I was kind of reflecting on as I was reading through this, Kelly, you and I have worked here for both more than a decade, and I
Right.
had never heard of this show.
I haven't
That is such
either.
a legacy cooking show. It was on for more than 20 years, like from the 50s, 60s, 70s, kind of that time frame. So I'm sure a lot of people watching out there, maybe you've heard of this show, but we're kind of like keeping the food legacy of King 5 going on this show. We cook every day.
We do.
And
And you guys are teaching me how to cook and
Yeah.
new recipes and broadening my horizons.
And so I was just like, why didn't I know about this? I'm glad to learn a little bit about the history of King 5 and
It's so cool that a viewer sent this in
Right,
too and
a letter.
had the clipping. Like
Yeah,
I
saved.
love when we get like handwritten letters
Yep.
from y'all. And this is just, something that, like you said, we've been here over a decade. We didn't know. And you use canned, but you could use fresh if you
no
want.
canned salmon.
Canned.
That's
Canned is
specifically- 'cause
is
it's pre-cooked.
okay.
So
and
basically,
so how
yeah.
long would that heat?
So the recipe just says until it's browned. So I would
Okay.
kind of flip them around and like make sure they're cooked. And then you add the sauce on top, which is a mixture of, this is very of the time.
Okay.
It is condensed tomato soup and sour cream that you mix together, and then you pour over the top, and then you just kind of let it warm up, and then you can give it a shot. So shall we?
I know. I feel like we need to partake in this.
B would be proud of us for trying this, I feel like. Ooh,
I know.
Very soft.
Wow, you're going. I'm going to go.
Oh, yum. Kind of tastes like a tuna fish sandwich sort of situation.
Wait, yeah, I'm not really getting it. It's not fishy at all, maybe because the way it's like kind of crispy on the edges with the browning. And I love the sauce there too. That little fiesta. It really is giving a little bit of like a meatball.
You know what? I ate that whole
sauce.
thing. That was good.
And I feel like you could put this maybe over, I don't know, carb or like vegetables
Well,
or
the
something.
recipe calls for rice, basically.
Oh.
Fun rice. I just didn't do that for time's sake, but kind of fun to try something a blast from the past, learn about our history. I don't know.
This is an absolute blast from the past. I'm kind of shocked. I'm not lying.
We're expanding your horizons here at New Day.
I don't mind that at all. That's quite
Well, then,
tasty.
hey, here's your lunch.
I know. Shout out to B and shout out to you, Joseph.
And to the viewer who sent us this. Thank you.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for being here today. I really appreciate it. And when we come back, I've got something to wash down this recipe. The Washington Brewers Guild joins me with a taste test of some beers perfect for the incoming summer weather that we're about to have. So make sure to stay with me as I taste through a few of their options.
It's a new day.
Welcome back. We love to hear about new places to try, and there's a brand new donut shop creating all kinds of buzz in Issaquah. Evening's Jose Cedano checks out Good Lazy Donuts.
Meet the crew behind Good Lazy Donuts.
We specialize in brioche donuts. A lot of cultures have a version of it. All our donuts typically have less sweetness than your average donut.
It all started when Annie and Noah were looking to explore new opportunities as their youngest started school, and a friend suggested donuts. From there on, it was a race to create the perfect recipe.
Running a small business is definitely new for both of us. Little things have large impacts.
They took on social media to keep their customers updated with the flavors of the week.
I do think there's a lot of value, allows people to kind of feel a closer connection.
And it truly did, as many of their Instagram followers check constantly on their posts to find out what was on the menu.
Right now, we're rotating every 2 weeks. It's kind of a good time span for people to try the flavors. The thing that's always top of mind is like how grateful we are for all our customers. When we first started out, it was a home pickup. Some of those people to this day, after 3 years, they're still coming to the store and getting donuts.
The demand was so high, the next logical step was to sell their delicious donuts at their local farmers market.
We knew it could get serious from the first year of our farmers market.
We're gonna do one of each and then an extra of the apple pie.
Honestly, we could have just stopped there.
But they didn't.
After the farmers market, we decided that we should try to expand because we needed a kitchen of our own instead of working out of commissary kitchens.
The result was this brand new donut shop in Issaquah.
They haven't opened yet,
and there's a line already going on outside.
The line's been mind-blowing, overwhelming for sure.
I feel bad that they're setting a line.
Don't feel bad. That just means they really like your product. The kitchen was working around the clock to have 1,000 delicious donuts ready to go right before opening. All right, this is the menu for today. Black sesame, cookie butter, pandan coconut, Boston cream, white chocolate, and classic. As people rush in to pick their favorite flavors before they sell out,
2 Bostons? All right.
it's easy to see that Annie and Noah created something special.
Everybody who does this type of donut, it's a labor of love because it's a lot more work than your standard donut. You can quite almost literally taste the time and the love that goes into it.
So if you're looking for a one-of-a-kind sweet treat, Good Lazy Donuts may be just what you need.
That's definitely what I need. Thank you, Jose. Those look delicious. Good Lazy Donuts and Stuff is located in Issaquah's Grand Ridge Plaza, and they open Thursday through Sunday. And now we're about to get a preview of the Washington Brewers Fest that's coming to Seattle Center June 20th and 21st. And here to walk me through some new beers to try is Shauna Cormier from the Washington Brewers Guild. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Love drinking beer.
Fun day.
Right?
Donuts,
You're
beer.
welcome.
What is the Washington Brewers Guild, and tell me about your upcoming event.
So we are the nonprofit that represents all the small and independent craft breweries throughout the state. So we protect and promote and do everything we can to make sure that those breweries have all the things they need to succeed.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you have an event coming up.
We
Tell me
do.
about it.
Yeah, the Washington Brewers Fest. So we're now in like the 20-something year, and it's gone through different eras, and now we're kind of in a new era. We're at Seattle Center. It used to be at Marymore Park and St. Edwards before that, and Herb's Farm way before then. So now we're kind of reinventing it, but we have 75 plus breweries coming, and some cideries as well.
Ooh.
So for those that think that they aren't beer lovers.
I know.
Gateway.
I'm usually a cider girly. I'm going to be honest.
We're going to win you over.
You're going to win
Look
me
at
over
this.
today. I can feel it. So you brought a lot. We're going to
did.
start down here. What are we starting with first?
So we have Four Generals Goza. It's a German style beer. Give it
Please,
a try.
give me
I want
cheers.
you. Cheers. This is the best time to be tasting beer before you're like fatigued throughout your whole day.
It's true. This could be a great
5 o'clock
Monday.
somewhere. So tell me, do you smell anything? What is the first thing that pops out of you?
Okay, is that what I was supposed to do I'm supposed to smell?
Smell it. Use your schnoz. Right?
It feels kind of almost like citrusy. This is not what I would
Totally.
expect for, I guess, I don't know. I've been drinking the wrong beer. I really like this.
Any beer's the right beer, but so this is German style, so there's
Okay.
coriander. So you are dead right that you're
was
getting
I?
some like citrus, some orange peel. Yeah, citrus,
what I
and
was
also there's
thinking.
lactobacillus, which gives it a sour quality. So if you give it a sip, there's wheat, there's lactobacillus, it's the same thing that's in yogurt.
Yeah.
So it's like you're sipping on something by like an ocean breeze is going by you, a little sea salt in there, but it's like super like crushable, first of all, and just like very, very refreshing.
It is so
Kinda
refreshing.
Gatorade-y.
I'm really shocked. We're starting off really strong.
Right?
This is definitely the best beer I've ever had. Wow.
Whoa! Oh
Whoa.
my goodness! How are we
Okay.
gonna top that?
I don't know how we're gonna top
Silver award
it.
winner at World Beer Cup too. So.
Oh, well, there you go. I have
Hey,
taste. Okay,
yeah.
number 2. What's up next?
So we have Stoop German Pills. And
Stoop.
Stoop.
Okay.
So they have 3 different locations. Their original one in Ballard. So German Pils is one of those beer styles that is like classic, crisp, clean. There's some herbal quality to it. Some nice water cracker. So give it a sip. Tell me what you think.
It is smelling like my typical like beer, like to your point, like what I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about like, mass-produced like macro lagers, like a Bud, it's kind of a different version. Went down a different path in this
I am
one.
getting like a sour, more like I don't know.
There's like the hops that are used in this are very herbally.
Okay.
So it's almost like tarragon that's kind of what I get, and water cracker and some like white bread dough.
Okay.
But it's like crisp and clean and like not a lot of residual sweetness. So it actually it's great with food of all types. Like
That's what I was
imagine this with
gonna
sushi.
ask. Ooh,
Yes,
okay.
please. Or donut,
I know. I mean, hey, just choose your own adventure.
Choose your own
I'm
adventure,
really digging
yeah.
all the cups too and every like
I know,
different.
well,
this feels like, I don't know, I'm
It's
aggressive
hefty.
drinking that
I mean,
one.
you're definitely
okay.
gonna do some Prost with this.
Something is
you know?
happening.
Exactly.
Okay, moving right along, our third
Moving.
one here.
Yeah.
What's next?
So we have Check Your Vowels. So it's a Czech style lager. And this one has a little bit of an American flair because it's dry hopped. So the bitterness that you're tasting there comes from hops. And dry hopping comes at like the cold stage of fermentation. Kind of like they throw it in and it gives you tons of aromatics. So you give it
Okay,
your nose in there again.
cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, why don't
I know,
cheers,
we gotta.
So similar to this, if you see how they're a
Yeah,
little bit
the
different
color.
colors, they're both Pilsners.
Okay.
Czech was the OG Pilsner. So different water, which totally it's like this different chemistry reaction that happens with the malts and hops from two different regions.
Bold. I
yes.
think this is more bold than the other ones. Yeah.
Yes, fuller bodied.
Okay.
Similar hop character. This one has more like floral character, a little bit of bergamot. So,
Something for everyone.
A nice perfume,
this
actually.
One, I thought when we started, I was like, this might be mine. What's this
is the
one? I'm going
This
to
is the
dive
one.
in.
So this is a Saison with Montmorency cherries and shisha leaves. So this is Fair Isle. And they do really cool stuff with native and wild yeasts. So if you, do you smell like forest floor?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of this, like it smells very Pacific Northwest to
It
me,
does.
right? And that cherry pow, almost like
That's
woodsy
what I'm getting.
cinnamon.
I'm getting like a cherry, like fruit forward,
Yeah.
but not overpowering.
It's almost like
it's
there's
not sweet.
Totally, and it's like a little bit of mango, like a just like not quite ripe mango, and shisha leaf, which is like very kind of basil minty.
I'm
So,
into that.
Isn't that right?
But
Isn't
I'm
that
still
lovely?
going with number one, surprisingly.
Great.
Last though one here. What do we have
Let's
as
end
the
it
final?
big.
Oh, we're ending on a big note. Okay, what's this?
So this is an Imperial IPA by a Bale Breaker, so it's bottom cutter. So this is like a classic Pacific Northwest double IPA or Imperial IPA.
Woo!
So yeah, right?
Woo!
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy. I think it's 8.5%, 9%.
Okay, woo!
Yeah, and a lot of hop, like very classic American hops. I think it's Simcoe, Citra, and Equinaut, and so very piney and like resiny, grapefruit peel, orange peel, and then a nice malty, almost like hint of like bread crust malt character to kind of balance it all. But it's super bitter and like very aromatic.
I must like the bitter because I'm digging this too, and I can taste through like the grapefruit and everything else.
Just imagine this with carrot cake.
Oh. Okay, done and done. You really expand my horizon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
You're
being here
so
today.
welcome. Thanks
I
for
really
having me.
appreciate it. And up next, we'll meet a real-life aurora chaser. He'll explain why this is a very special time when it comes to the Northern Lights and the best place to see them. The Northern Lights, also known as the aurora borealis, have been busy, especially the last few years. While some of us caught a glimpse of them here in Seattle last May, the real light show happens in northern Norway due to its geographical position and dark skies. Veteran aurora expert, astronomer, and author Tom Kurz was named Chief Aurora Chaser by Hurtigruten Cruise Line. That's a very cool title. And now Tom joins me now because did I get the cruise line right? Or
You
you're
did.
I did?
Shall I teach you a bit of Norwegian?
Please.
The Norwegians like to spit this name out like it's one syllable, so they say Hurtigruten.
Oh, Lord.
You have to be really fast.
Yeah. And I'm Norwegian too, but you would never know, apparently. Okay, what's actually happening when we see the Northern Lights?
Well, we're experiencing the end point of a whole bunch of massive invisible processes. I like to think of it as a visible expression as something that we otherwise wouldn't be able to see. So it starts at the sun, around 90 million miles away. Radiation from the sun, called solar wind, is intercepted by the Earth's magnetic field, funneled into the atmosphere around the North and the South poles, and then it causes the atmosphere to glow, releasing these radiant colors that dance in a very beautiful way. So it actually begins with the sun, and it's what we call a space weather phenomenon, but you can experience it from the ground.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. This time right now is considered a solar maximum, a special period of time. So what does that mean?
Yeah, we're in a solar maximum period right now. The sun has a cycle of activity, so it waxes and wanes every 11 years. And when the sun is close to its maximum, we see more what we call sunspots on the sun, And that just corresponds to more sightings of the Northern Lights and more intense sightings as well. So the opportunities to witness like an aurora storm, which is absolutely breathtaking, it's much greater during the maximum period. And so for the next 2 seasons, really going from 2025 into 26 and then again 26 into 27, we're anticipating really great aurora sightings. We've already had a great season gone by, so this is a perfect time to go chasing the Northern Lights.
Ooh, okay, and what's the definition of an aurora chaser?
Now that's a good question. In my opinion, I'm a professional aurora chaser, but I think an aurora chaser is anyone who gets the bug. That happens to be most people. They say it's a bucket list phenomenon and you tick it off. In my experience, people tick it off and then they untick it and tick it off again many, many times, maybe hundreds of times. I myself have done it hundreds of times. So an aurora chaser is anyone that's willing to make the journey to go and actually hunt out and seek out this elusive phenomenon. And you do need to go up into the Arctic to see it properly. So you really have to take a bit of an expedition. So it's a bit of a pain and gain situation. You have to like the cold or brace the cold, but it's worth it. It's worth it for the experience.
Okay, well, I'm going to take your word for it. And you take people on these special cruises to see the lights in Norway. What's a typical day in the life like for you on something like that?
Oh my goodness. I probably need a typical day to get some rest, but there really is no typical day.
Look at you out there.
Yeah, most of the time it's more of a typical night than a day. I might spend the day forecasting, looking at the circumstances, delivering lecturers to our wonderful astronomy group. Sometimes I'm signing books like this one, but during the night I'm out on deck trying to make the most of every glimpse to interpret what's happening, showing people the stars and other phenomena in the night sky, and then ultimately trying to make sure they all experience the Northern Lights in the deepest and best way that they can, whether that's just to see it and understand it and to go deeper, perhaps even in almost a spiritual way or a scientific way, or whether that is to just take that dream photograph that they've always wanted to take. So we'll do some workshops around photography. My job is to make sure everybody goes away satisfied that they have had the best aurora chasing experience possible in Norway.
Gosh, okay. Well, do the colors mean anything too? Because we see these spectacular colors and I've always wondered, what do they mean specifically?
They do have meanings. They connect to the gases in our atmosphere, but we have to think higher up than where we're living right now. Where we live in the warm bit, we breathe the air, but if you go high enough, it's just atomic oxygen and molecular nitrogen. And these two gases, they emit different colors of light. So green is the predominant color, but higher up in the auroral curtain, we see reds and sometimes maroons and pinks and blues. And those are the colors we tend to see when the lights migrate south, such as they did to Seattle last year and other parts of the US. But if you go up into Norway, you have these green ribbons dancing overhead, and the green can be incredibly vibrant. So that's a really beautiful thing to see. They are beautiful colors. I mean, it just adds to the wonderful dynamism of the auroras. No display is the same as the previous one, and the color is a big part of that, as well as the movement.
It's breathtaking. And you said that seeing the lights never gets old. What do you see in them?
I see the most creaturely and unique phenomenon in the sky. I've seen almost everything there is to see. I've seen eclipses around the world. I've seen meteor showers. I've looked into the heart of the Milky Way from the darkest skies on Earth. But the Northern Lights has a special quality. It seems to have a soul of its own. It moves, it's unique. It's like a paintbrush in the sky. And if you capture it, you're capturing the artistry of nature. And it has this incredible promise that nothing else has. And that promise is this: you don't know when the best display is going to occur. You don't know when the best display, whether it's in your future or not. All you know is that you don't want to miss it. Everything else in the sky is kind of the same from one year to the next, but the Northern Lights is always different. So I see it as the most special phenomenon that you can see in the sky. And I understand why it's on everyone's bucket list, but I think it's more than a bucket list item. It's really transformative.
Gosh, oh, okay. I could talk about this forever with you. This was so amazing. Thank you for those incredible videos and photos too that we got to witness here. And now I want to see it in real life.
It's my pleasure, and you're welcome to come and see it in real life. Anyone's welcome to travel with me in Norway. I'm on board those ships this season and the next, so please do come and join me. I'd love to see you there.
Thank you so much. I would love to go. And Herta Grutens.
That's right.
Okay, popular astronomy voyages to the Arctic Norway run multiple times a year. And since we're still in the special solar time, it's expected the next 2 years will be some spectacular viewing. And Tom, of course, will be there. And when we come back, the time has come to reveal our top 5 nominees for this year's Hyundai Hometown Heroes contest. Meet 5 incredible people when we come back.
This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by Hyundai.
It's a new day.
Welcome back. We have some exciting news to share this morning with our annual Hyundai Hometown Heroes contest, where someone is going to win a brand new Hyundai Santa Fe. You all submitted so many awesome heroes to be considered, and we had the difficult job of narrowing it down to a top 5 for your consideration. So this morning, we're ready to share the top 5 amazing people that we've chosen. And here to tell us more about them is Western Washington Hyundai dealer Randy Jorgensen, along with last year's Hyundai Hometown Hero winner Ryan Lopez. Welcome to both of you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So before we get to this year's nominees, Ryan, you are last year's winner. So how has the last year been? This has got to be the most exciting time.
It has been super overwhelming and fun, seeing people on the road even with honking at me and not knowing who they are, but they know who I am because it's been posted everywhere, much like the same thing that's going to happen to the winner this year. And it's been super great. The community, past communities and districts that I've worked for have been super supportive, and again, overwhelming, but gotten to a place where I've just enjoyed it with my family and my friends.
Definitely. And the kids last year were probably
Yes.
so excited because
Yes.
you're a teacher, right?
Yes, and so the crew I had last year I got to move up with, so I get to teach them 5th grade this year, and they get to move on to 6th grade this year, which will be great for them and me probably. But I love them, had such a great year with them, and it's going to be really unforgettable.
Oh, wow, amazing. Randy, please remind us all about the Santa Fe that someone gets to win. I mean, this is incredible.
Yeah, no, it's a brand new Santa Fe. You know, one of the changes that Hyundai made in their lineup was to improve the Santa Fe, make it a 3-row seat vehicle, and it's just a great vehicle, just like the one that Ryan won last year. I know he's getting a lot of enjoyment out of it, and we were excited to be able to present this to the next winner.
It is so sleek. It just feels, I got to drive one a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this is luxurious, so beautiful. Okay, without further ado, we have to get to the nominees, the top 5 finalists right now. So let's start. Dee Dee Ponder is our first finalist.
Yeah, Dee Dee is an animal lover. She travels all over the Puget Sound to rescue lost and abandoned pets. She helps coordinate foster homes for them. A heavy focus on lost and abandoned pets. Eagles, falcons, ducks, dogs, cats, even orphaned coyote pups.
Oh my goodness.
Regardless of terrain, elements, time of day, she's committed to being there for the animals. So really excited. Great nomination.
Absolutely. Okay, go Dee Dee. Good luck. Next up, Chris Hyde. Tell me about Chris.
Well, Chris, during the pandemic, Chris started the Super Sunday Soup Group to help provide warm meal for anybody who needs it. Single parents, students, seniors, anybody who simply needs a warm meal and a welcome space. He started this with one small group in Olympia and now has grown to 11 groups over 3 states. So amazing work, and his belief is that food is what connects us, and that's his gift.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. Good luck to Chris. And now with our third finalist, Brittany Gross. Tell me about Brittany.
Yeah, Brittany is a quality control nurse at a local hospital. She has volunteered at a free clinic since 2022 that provides free medical care to those in need in the community. She has a master's degree in nursing, a 10-year-old daughter, and due to the impact of multiple sclerosis has had on her family, she also participates in the annual fundraising walks for MS locally here as well. So really committed to doing her part, giving back. It's great to see.
Gosh, I don't know how anyone is going to decide. Okay, good luck to Brittany. Next up, we have Stacy Tremaine. Tell me about Stacy.
Yes, Stacy. In 2021, Stacy made the choice to donate one of her kidneys to an unknown recipient.
Wow.
At the UW, one of the leading transplant centers in the nation, they only see this happen a few times a year. But that's not it. In 2024, she did it again. This time she donated part of her liver to another unknown recipient. It's amazing. There's a 40-year study that only 101 living people in the U.S. have donated 2 of their organs. And then factor in the fact that for her, the recipients were all unknown, made it even more special. and more unique.
Wow, that's just an incredible story. Congratulations and good luck to Stacy. And our very last finalist, we can't forget about him, Stephen Shook.
Yeah, Stephen, I love this picture. He's a reserve officer in the U.S. Coast Guard. He's been fulfilling his duties for over 18 years. In addition to that, he's a full-time federal agent with his focus on protecting vulnerable children in our community. And in his spare time, I don't know how he has spare time, but in his spare time, he's a head coach for Kentwood High School's flag football team. So very, very involved in his community as well. So it's great to see.
Wow, all of them are so deserving. I don't know how we're gonna pick, but that's why we have voting. And Ryan, I wanna get back to you. I mean, were you just shocked when you were chosen? Did you know it was coming?
No.
I mean, what was it like?
The best part was, and I was just sharing this earlier, my family had posted something on a Facebook page and I didn't pay attention. I was like, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. They nominated me for something. Great. And then I got a phone call saying, hey, we're calling to see if you would take the car if you won. And I was like, car? What are you talking about, a car? So then they sent me the link and I looked at it again and obviously was surprised. But then the day of, the best part was the day of, one of the families texted, do you hear anything? No. I gave up hope in terms of like, it's okay, I've won. My families and community have supported me so long. And she goes, well, I'm not giving up hope. And I go, why don't you hope for me too? And then Amity showed up and there it was. And that's why when you see the picture of me in the video, the promotions, I'm just super shocked.
Stunned.
Yes.
But so deserving. Thank you so much to you both for being here. This is always one of our favorite things to do every single year. And everyone, like we just said, now's the time to vote. So please head to king5.com/hero to cast your vote on one of our top 5 finalists that you just heard about. You can read their full nomination essays there. And the voting period ends on Sunday, June 1st. And then the winner will actually be announced right here on New Day on Thursday, June 12th. Thank you to you all for spending time with us today. You can check our website for more of our content, and you can always send us an email to share your thoughts. Don't forget to enjoy your new day, and we'll see you next time.
Some segments of New Day Northwest are paid for by these fine sponsors: